everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Stop Doing Nothing TV here with Patrick Allmond. I am honored. This is probably one of my more exciting guests so far to have Mr. Jeffrey Hayzlett today with us from New York, probably overlooking, I figure, a big, massive penthouse in downtown New York, probably with Times Square in the background with his stock stuff scrolling around there. But real quick, Jeffrey Hayzlett was the CEO of C-Suite Everything and Books Everything. And I'm not kidding you, people. If you go to Jeffrey Hayzlett's website, you start poking around, you are going to get lost because it branches off to other websites. There's so many shows going on and books going on and multiple blogs. And I'm not kidding you. We were a little delayed getting this set up, and I was still poking around in different links trying to figure out every single thing this guy writes about. He's got 3 best-selling books, Running the Gauntlet, The Mirror Test, and the latest one is Think Big, correct, sir?
Yeah, think big, act bigger. The rewards of being relentless.
Got it. So he's got 3 books, and I'm sure there's more coming on the way. If you go look for the shows he has going on, so Patrick Allmond's got 1 show, Stop Doing Nothing TV. No, not Jeff. Jeff's got Executive Perspectives. He's got the C-Suite TV, C-Suite Radio, and I'm sure there are some other ones in there. What other besides those 3 shows do you have going on a consistent
Well, we
basis?
actually have 20 different television shows, and adding another 20, we have over 40 podcasts on C-Suite Radio. But myself, I host the C-Suite with Jeffrey Hayzlett, which used to be on Bloomberg, which is now on C-Suite TV. Okay. I host Executive Perspective Live. I also do some C-Suite Insights interviews as well, but I have other hosts for that. And then I have the All Business podcast.
That's right. All Business was down here also. I missed that one.
Yeah.
So this guy's got an empire all over the place, and I'm really big on building empires. So we're going to hang out with Jeff for a little bit and figure out, as someone who has an empire that's this big, you think this guy would be busy, 12, 16 hours a day. But I know just as a result of maturing, he's come up with some ways to be more efficient with his time. And so we're just going to run through some quick questions on that to figure out if we want to grow an empire like this man, what kind of things do we need to do? So let's start with something simple like, I'm always interested when I talk to people is on an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, what is the best, you being at the top of a company, what is the best use of your time? Where can you contribute the most as the CEO of your company? Well,
it's really about your conditions of satisfaction. What is it you're trying to drive? So what are the 4 or 5 things that you own as the executive, for the company? Right. And then does your schedule reflect that? Every day I look at my schedule. Does the things that I'm doing today get me to where I want to go? It's really that simple. And if they don't, then cancel them, then get rid of them or toss them over to somebody else. I had a conversation earlier today with the team when they were asking me, should I come over at 2:15? Should I come at 3:15? What are you asking me? Don't ask me. That's what you're here for. Exactly. That's the decisions that you make. And so I'm not having those conversations anymore. So really get clear about those conditions of satisfaction.
Okay. So the conditions it kind of works backwards. You establish the conditions first, and then that will dictate what goes in your calendar during the day.
Yeah, or in your life, whether it's with your wife, your children, your spirituality in terms of, your religion or whatever you want to be able to have. What are the most important things? Your friends and your family. Those are the key things that you need to have conditions around.
Got it. Okay. I know you're a very passionate guy. So if you're anything like me, when things are really happy, you're smiling big, but I'm sure you also get frustrated with certain things. So throughout the day or throughout a particular month, what is one thing that either inside of your own company or that you see inside of other companies really frustrates you or pisses you off when you see people make a consistent thing when it comes to how they spend their time and their money?
Yeah, rules. Rules. I don't like too many rules. I don't like things where we do things because of the budget. And people will say, oh, we can't do that because of the budget. We'll change the frickin' budget. Right. Well, we can't do it because of this. We'll change that. If it makes sense to do it, why aren't you doing it? So it's people not asking the question why.
Okay.
Why? Because it really, if you want to go here, then go here. There shouldn't be anything that restricts you. And we put these arbitrary kinds of stories around things that we can't do things because of things. And I can't stand that. That's one of the biggest things that's a pet peeve for me.
Got it. Okay. So rules. I like that. I was reading your blog post and I found a particular article called "What would you tell your 22-year-old self?" And I'm sure for you, that was just like 3 or 4 years ago, right? You would back up 3 or 4 years.
I wish. Yeah.
So can you tell us right now verbally, what would you go back and tell your 22-year-old self if you're just getting started in business?
Yeah. Stop listening to the little voices telling you why you can't do something. I stopped inviting those voices to dinner a long time ago. And, you know, I'm from a place that most people only know on a map. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Rapid City, South Dakota. I'm from South Dakota. Most people, as a flyover state, don't even know where it's at. And yet I found out early on that I could go do what I was doing there in Iowa, or in Chicago, or in Tokyo, or in Paris, or in New York. And so I learned on very, very quickly, I don't have to limit myself to borders and boundaries. And I used to think, geez, I was a pretty big thing there until I realized that there's always someone bigger. And so I stopped listening to those voices tell me I couldn't be more than that. And the second that happened, I had huge breakthroughs. Okay, good deal. So elimination of borders and I can'ts, got it right there. So now the same perspective again is opening up a new business. You talk, one of the questions you just answered is you hate rules and you hate people complaining about they can't do stuff because of budgets. So if I am starting a new business and I have a very limited budget because there's only a finite amount of money, I'm starting a new business day one, I've got $1,000. What should I be doing? Let's say I'm starting a service-oriented business like I have a market. I got $1,000. What should I be focusing on? Well, you should figure out those things that are going to get you to the goals that you need to have in terms of making more sales, because you need more sales. So I would be spending the money more on how do I get more sales, the way in which I can get more people to call me, and with as many zeros as possible. So let's don't also misinterpret what I said. You still got a budget, you still got to have rules, but I don't like them, and I want to stretch them, and I want to question them. So I'm going to always do that. You can't just go without having some idea of where you're going to go. It's like saying I'm going to get in a car and I don't have a map. You got to have those things. Now your map's going to change because you decided to stay an extra day, or you're going to go to the next day. You're going to decide to go over here and see the biggest ball of yarn. And because because you can, right? Got it. Okay. Again, I was browsing your blog and I found another interesting article and a short video, but I want to expand on this. You have a mantra that you believe every business needs an enemy. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit and explain that to people listening? Well, if you don't have something to fight, then what are you fighting? So your enemy could be time. Your enemy could be complacency. Your enemy could be efficiency. Your enemy could be another competitor. But you know, I've bought and sold over 250 businesses in my career, $25 billion in transaction. And a lot of times when people are asking me to invest in businesses, and we do invest, I serve on numbers of boards, they'll say we really have no competition. Well, if you have no competition, you got no freaking product. You got nothing. Right. Because you're not fighting something. So the bigger, the badder, the meaner, the richer, the more important that enemy is, the more value that you have around that. Okay, got it. Okay, and as we're wrapping up here, I see that a lot of businesses get involved with the world of C-suite, but they also have to be at a certain level. So let's say you got someone listening who, I want to go to that level. I want to go to the C-suite conferences. I want to get in the book club. I want to do that. Well, what's the best way for someone to enter the world of the C-suite, to get involved, to share their knowledge, or to learn from your group? To watch and learn. And one of the best things you can do is by going to C-Suite TV, C-Suite Radio, the book club, C-Suite Book Club, and learning from some of the masters. We have some of the greatest interviews in the world from some of the biggest business people, most successful and not so successful as well, because we all are going to make mistakes. We all fail at some point in our lives. That's how we learn. And so you can go there first. Doesn't cost you a thing. And you can go buy the books, read the books, see the interviews, listen to the interviews, listen to the podcast, and watch the video of some of these great people. Got it. Okay. Man, Jeff, I told you it was going to be quick and easy. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to stop the recording. And your book, Think Big, I know it's on the shelves at Barnes & Noble. I've seen it at Barnes & Noble, right? Think Big, Act Bigger. It's sitting right up there on the... Is that what it is right there? Yeah, right over there. Right over there. Good deal, man. Along with my bacon. That's my bacon, too. I love bacon. Man, don't tease me like that. That's bacon. One of the very few, really quick story. Every now and then I'll do a Facebook live stream, and just for fun, I will stream me cooking a pan of bacon. And it's huge. It gets more views than any of my business videos ever gets. I shared a photo of someone on bacon right after the January, resolutions. Right. And it was exercise, eggs are aside for bacon. And it got 355,000 likes in 24 hours, 42,000 shares, and over 13,000 comments in 24 hours. It's amazing what people consume on social media, man. Bacon. There's never any bad bacon. Thanks again for your time, sir. We'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.